Hello, and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog, Discord server, Facebook community, MeWe community. We are Borg. We are everywhere. Not quite, but working on it. So, something I see fairly frequently on social media, even from friends of mine, is comments about Kickstarter and, quote, big companies. I don't know what constitutes a big company in the RPG field. You know, you've got Wizards of the Coast and Paizo. They're like freaking huge. And then you have pretty much everybody else. You know, Goodman Games, Frog God Games, Troll Lord Games. I guess that's the next tier. Maybe Chaosium. I guess Steve Jackson's is somewhere between the two. But the comments are usually along the line of, I don't support big companies when they kickstart stuff because that should only be for small companies that need to be seen. Or is it right for something that is for a company that hasn't been fulfilled yet to kickstart a new project? All right. You do know I am pretty much the kickstart shitster, right? I'm the one that tracks a lot of the shit that's running late, and I hound people, and I've been told I'm a fucking asshole and worse. But here, let me address, why do big companies, I'm going to put big in quotation marks, need Kickstarter? Because your big companies are usually one significant project away from complete and utter failure. And when I say complete and utter failure, I mean, say, I don't know, the big book of badass RPGdom is what you want to kickstart. And you're one of these, I'm going to call them like second tier companies. All right. And you're going to bankroll it yourself. Think about it. All right. Now you got to figure out, how many copies can I sell? And maybe you've got a good feel for the industry. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But you think this is a great idea. And you print, I don't know, 3,000 copies. And some of you going, 3,000 copies? That doesn't sound like an awful lot. You know what? For RPG books that aren't coming from Wizards and Paizo, it's a lot. All right, so now you do 3,000 books at a cover price of $50, maybe out of pocket, I don't know the exact numbers, is $20 per book. All right, and I'm probably, maybe I'm lowballing it. That's your cost for paying the writer, artists, layout, editing, and printing. Okay, so let's say we come out to $20 a book, and you've got 3,000 books. So how much have you laid out? 60,000. And what if you can't get sales to distributors? So now the only way you're going to sell is through your online store. How long is it going to take you? Think about that. How long will it take you? And until you sell those, you're not going to get your money back, right? You're out of pocket, and it's cost the store. And maybe it isn't as popular as you hoped it was going to be, or you thought it was going to be. So you significantly overprinted, and now maybe 5 years later, you still have 2,000 of these books sitting in a warehouse that you're paying to store. You've already lost money on this project. What are you going to do? Do you pulp them? Think about it. So now that's part of the reason why these, quote, big companies use Kickstarter. They use Kickstarter, and they can get a feel for, oh, wow, all right, so we sold, I don't know, 800 copies on Kickstarter. So if we, I don't know, do a print run of maybe 1,500 copies, we know we've covered our cost. We're not going to lose money, even if it takes us a while to sell that other 700. All right, we got our money back from Kickstarter, right? Think about it. Kickstarter is also built in advertising mode. These companies don't have the reach that you think they have. Kickstarter adds to that reach. It's a win-win. All right. Now, you don't have to back things because, I don't know, big company tier 2 has something up on Kickstarter. Maybe you don't like it. That's fine. You don't have to, nobody's obligated to back anything. But to say I don't back anything from large companies, you got to realize what you're calling large. Large company, even these large companies, most of their employees, probably all their employees, have real jobs. This is still their secondary gig. Okay. The other question, the other comment, should they be kickstarting a new project when the other ones haven't fulfilled yet? All right. So say you're saying it's going to take, you're the Kickstarter creator. All right. It's November of 2019. And I think that, I'm not being optimistic, but being cautious. It's going to take me a year to get this project out. So we're going to have a fulfillment date of November 2020. Fair enough, right? Does that mean that you can't kickstart anything for those 12 months? Because if you don't, guess what? You're not making another project. If you're relying on one release a year, your company is not going to exist, or it's not going to exist in the way that your quote fans that think that people shouldn't be kickstarting more than one project at a time, and before one completes. Listen, not everybody out there is Gareth fucking Charka. Okay, most of them aren't. Most people are not Ken Whitman. Most people are not Mike Nystul. Okay, well, Mike fell on a sword. He took the hit. You got to remember that if a company has kickstarted 20 projects, you're know their record, right? You know that they're going to complete what they say they're going to complete. You know it, or else they wouldn't be able to kickstart because nobody would be backing them. Now, another argument is, well, when these big companies use Kickstarter, they're taking money away from small companies. No, that's not quite how it works. It might work that somebody might say, all right, well, I've already put money into this project or that project as a consumer, and I got to hold back. Maybe I would have backed this other one from, Joe Blow, but I don't have the money. That's the market. Okay, that's how the market works in real life. You go to a store and you buy what you want. Oh, well, I could use this too, but no, I don't have the money. So, yeah, I understand where this stuff is coming from, but in my experience, these aren't it is coming from people who have been following Kickstarter, or following the Kickstarter market, or following how it works, or when it doesn't work, and the warning signs to look for. These are the people that I'm not going to back because this company is a big company, but I'm going to back it from John Smith over there, who has no track record, and is going to be 3 years late because he has no idea how Kickstarter works, how the funding works, how to project the money you're going to be spending, how you take into account the fees that Kickstarter charges you, and the payment processor charges you. Yeah, there's a lot of things involved in all that. I don't know if Rach was responding to me with that. She was talking to the dog. Oh, as an aside, yes, Rach still, she still owes me some backseat driving on the podcast. I will get a chair here at some point for her, and she can settle in on one of these episodes, and she can one of the more entertaining episodes where it's like almost a quasi rant on my end, and then she can make her commentary in the back. But yeah, again, people or you're those that talk about big. Listen, if Wizards of the Coast was kickstarting stuff, I could see your problem. I could see your issue. If Paizo was regularly kickstarting, I think they kickstarted one thing, right? To translate one of their books into 5e. That was testing the market for 5e. That was them trying to see how they can maximize their income. But really, you're saying, like I said, companies like Frog Eye Games, Steve Jackson Games. You think that Ogre would have ever been made? You ever would have seen Ogre if it wasn't for Kickstarter? They're a big company, right? Ogre could have almost bankrupted them as it was as a successful Kickstarter, but it proved that they could do it, and they've been successful, and they shipped that, and it other stuff. Don't fool yourself by saying big companies. These aren't big companies. They're big companies when you're looking in the pool or the pond, and you're saying the pond, like, oh, look at all those little minnows. Oh my God, there's some goldfish in there. They look huge in comparison, and they're still only bait fish compared to the big boys. All right. On that note, folks, as always, if you like what you hear, or you don't like it, I guess, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, right? That's what it's called. Yeah, that's the tip. I'd appreciate it if you would. Folks, as always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. We got Thanksgiving coming up in 3 days. So if you're in the States, give thanks for what you have. And I will talk with you all tomorrow. Later, folks.